So is it possible that you can improve your near vision with an eye drop? Maybe to the point where you can take a break from your reading glasses or your computer glasses, not take them everywhere with you. Is it possible that one eye drop can give you hours of good near vision? So a couple of years ago, an eye drop came out called Vuity that was designed to do just that. There were a lot of articles, a lot of hype around this drop. I had a lot of questions from people in the comments section, patients coming into the office, patients calling the office saying, hey, I want this eye drop that's supposed to fix my vision. So a lot of hype around it. But there were some potential serious side effects with this drop that made a lot of doctors nervous and hesitant to prescribe the drop, and it also made the patients a little bit hesitant as they heard some of these side effects, and overall maybe didn't live up to the hype of the expectations from the patients. Now we have a new eye drop that has been released called Vizz with the same purpose, same goals, but the big questions are, how well does it work? And more importantly, is it safe to use? Let's focus in. So let's first talk about the first drop, Vuity, and how it works. Now, Vuity is a medication called pilocarpine, has been around for a long, long time, and one of the effects that it does is it causes your pupil to get smaller, causes your iris to constrict, making your pupil a smaller diameter. And this taps into a benefit called the pinhole effect. The smaller your pupil size, the increased depth of focus that you have. So you have more of your vision that is in focus. Now this is along the same lines as a camera lens. The smaller the aperture size, the more in focus you have. Maybe you're looking at a person that's in focus and then you see the mountains really clear way in the background. Small aperture size. Now, if you have a big pupil or a big aperture size, then you have a small depth of focus. You might be looking at your phone that's clear, but anything behind it is blurry and anything in front of it isn't blurry. You have one shallow depth of focus that is really clear. And this is something that you can simulate right now if you make a tiny little pinhole with your hands, or maybe if you punch a little tiny hole in a piece of paper and just put it on one eye and look at something up close that might normally be blurry, and look through that pinhole, and you'll notice that the vision is clear, that item that you're looking at will be clear. Now, there is a downside or a dark side to pilocarpine or Vuity. Some side effects mainly were a brow ache, sometimes a little bit of a headache. If you think about it, it's causing muscles to constrict and hold that flex, and so you might get that ache or maybe headache with it. And it kind of made things seeing difficult in dim light because your pupil is smaller and constricted in dim lighting, dark lighting. It gets really tricky because your pupils can't get bigger to let more light in. And so that was kind of a big side effect. Now, the much more concerning one, and that made a lot of doctors hesitant, mostly hesitant to prescribe Vuity, is that there were documented risks of getting a retinal detachment. Ugh. And the main reason for this is how Vuity worked on the eye. It would target the iris sphincter, causing the constriction to make the small pupil for the pinhole effect, but it also would act on the ciliary body, the ciliary muscle, to cause that to constrict as well. And when that ciliary muscle constricted, sometimes it can cause a shift forward in the vitreous gel, the gel of the eye. And when that gel shifts forward, it's possible it can tug on the retina, cause traction on the retina, tear the retina, or cause a retinal detachment. So now we have this new eye drop called Vizz with the same purpose, same goal, to tap into that pinhole effect. And it uses a different medication called aceclidine or aceclidine. But the main difference between this and Vuity is that Vizz primarily targets the iris sphincter to constrict the pupil and spares the ciliary body, the ciliary muscle. So you don't have that shift forward of the vitreous gel in the eye, and so you don't have the same risks of retinal detachment that you had with Vuity. Now, you still had some of the other similar side effects: eye irritation, dim vision or difficulty seeing in dim vision, headache or the brow ache because you are still constricting a muscle and holding it there, eye redness. Now, with all of these, at least in the research, it was mild, transient, and self-resolving. So let's talk about the benefits or the statistics that you get from this drop and who this ultimately is for. Just like any other medication, it's not for everybody. There's a certain candidate that this works better for. So I'm going to list these statistics on the screen that came from the research so you can kind of see the benefits here. 99% of the people that use this drop had a less than 2 mm pupil size, which is super nice, meaning it's really effective, and it does this without sacrificing any distance vision, which is awesome. Unless you're in dim lighting. 91% of the people had 2 lines of better on a classic vision chart just after 30 minutes. 69% had 3 lines or better, and that was even up to the 10-hour mark. 93% achieve 20/40 or better near vision. Now 20/40 is probably going to cover the majority of what you're looking at for close up. The small detail is going to be a little tricky, pill bottle size, maybe small print on a book, still going to be a little bit tricky, but this is probably going to cover most of what you're looking at. Now how you use this drop, it is approved for once a day. Now, how you use it once a day is a little bit different. You put 1 drop in each eye, you wait 2 minutes, and then you put another drop in each eye. And you only do that once a day. Now, who will this likely work for? First off, if you are looking to use an eye drop to improve your distance vision, make it so you don't have to wear contacts or glasses, this is not what this is for. I got a lot of that with Vuity saying, hey, I want an eye drop. I don't want to wear contacts or glasses anymore. They thought it just would correct everything. Nope. Eye drop won't do that. Now, if you are somebody that is wearing reading glasses, either over your contact lenses or you don't wear anything and you just need reading glasses, maybe readers that you get from off the shelf at the store, you're using to look at the computer or near, this may be a great option for you. Also, if you're someone that does already wear a bifocal or progressive, meaning that you do need them for distance and you need them for near, so you're wearing glasses for everything, this drop isn't going to help with everything, meaning that, oh, I can just ditch my glasses. The main purpose is to help with that near, help with that bifocal part. So you'll still need your glasses for distance, especially if you're someone that is what we considered a low presbyope or maybe an early presbyopia. Presbyopia is just the catch-all term for people getting into struggling with near vision, getting into bifocals or progressives or reading glasses. If you're wearing reading glasses, maybe a +1, maybe up to a +2, this could be a good option. Usually the people that do best with these, at least how it was with Vuity, were in the lower presbyope, meaning they were in 1, 125, 150. They were using these for specific occasions. Maybe they had to read smaller print or looking at a computer for a long time and it helped them to put reading glasses on. This is a good option. Now, if you are higher than a +2, still could be a good option. In fact, in the research, it showed people that in higher amounts or more advanced presbyopia over a +2 found more improvement on their near vision. But the question is it enough? And that's what we found with Vuity, is sometimes the eye drop just didn't do enough. They still needed to pull out their reading glasses. So that's going to be the big question with Vizz. Is it going to be enough for those people that are more in the higher, moderate, advanced presbyopia? Now, how much does it cost? Disclaimer here, the price of this can vary by your region, what pharmacy you're using, time of year, when you're watching this video. And so, yeah, disclaimer here, but as of right now, the release of this video, if you sent it to a certain pharmacy called Upscript, they can guarantee a price of $79 per month for a month supply or $198 for a 3-month supply. Okay, now, personal thoughts here. How do I feel about Vizz? I'm actually more excited about this one than I was with Vuity. There's still, for some reason, a built-in hesitation here because sometimes with new medications, I'm always curious, okay, how well is this going to work? Are the side effects really that minimal? Are the side effects really what they're saying? And that's how it is with any medication that's coming out. But I am more optimistic with this one. Now, what do you think about this? Are you curious about Vizz? Do you think this is something that you'll try? Let me know in the comments. But if you want to learn about Vuity, check out this video right here, or more specifically about the pinhole effect with pinhole glasses, check out this video here. Stay focused.